Kirby, top three things you would say are necessary to know or have in real estate.
A team. Uh, that's number one. I mean, a team, that would be my number one thing. And that's because everybody think they need to know everything about everything. You don't. You just need to know people that know everything about different subject matters. I mean, we talking about real estate. You need a realtor that's actually a realtor that deals with investment properties. You talking about contractors, you need somebody that's a contractor that's going to give you do great work at a decent price. I'm not saying a cheap price. I'm not saying uh, your mama's boyfriend's cousin sister who got a construction company that just started last week. I'm talking about somebody that's good, reputable, and good, and you know that they will be there to get the work done, but also charge a decent price. I know some people out here, especially in these coastal towns here in Florida, they triple and quadruple the price of what stuff costs just because, just because they know the people have it. You know, I you just want somebody that's gonna, want an honest price for an honest day's work. So that's another avenue you need to have. You need to know somebody that, you know, when I'm saying teams, you want to use a good brokerage firm or a good financing firm that's going to give you the best rates, that's going to give you the least amount of spread, that's going to give you the best rates without trying to hit you over the head with uh, crazy processing fees like this. Crazy processing fees that's exorbitant over the national average. Just heads up out there, if you're using a national lender, their processing fees are usually a little higher than if you use somebody regional or locally. But those are things that I would set up first before I jump into that endeavor. And Alex, me and you talk about it. I talk about properties in a certain location. I'll be like, wait, I ain't got nobody out there that can, make it happen. So I gotta wait. It's because those things are going to come up, the especially the maintenance part, especially cleaning crews and all the other stuff. That stuff is going to come up. People believe that when they get a rental property that they're going to get one tenant and that tenant is going to be there forever. That's not the case. I mean, it'd be good if it happened and you could raise rents and all that other stuff. Usually, if a tenant is there for, 20, 30 years, it's because you're a bad operator and you didn't raise the rent enough to for them to say, hey, I can find opportunity somewhere else. I mean, now if you're raising the rent, every year, every other year, and then they decide to stay because they like the way you operate, okay. But usually that don't happen over a long period of time.
So I know when you first started, you didn't have a team, right? You started kind
Correct.
of like on the wing. So at what point maybe did you start to think to yourself, okay, I need to get something, I need to get something together with, structuring a team or getting people involved? Was it after your
Well,
second
I had a
year?
well. Let me back that up. Well, I did have the maintenance part of it. The first couple properties I bought, I paid cash, so I didn't need the realtor. Even though I used a seller's agent, I actually used a buyer's agent on the first one because I was scared and thought that it was something crazy going on, and I never, dipped my toe into you know, the rental market. So I did have a realtor then, and then I did have a maintenance crew. I mean, the crew that I use right here.
Okay, okay.
But I wasn't looking at it as, oh, I needed those guys. But the thing that I had them, so that them led me to other contacts, AC guys, plumbers, electricians,
Okay.
yada yada yada. And then, but when it really clicked that I needed a team was when I bought the commercial property in Texas. Because me, I thought I was gonna roll. I done bought one rental property here in Florida, two rental properties here in Florida. I bought a business in Texas. Now I just said, forget it. Let me just buy the whole commercial property. And then that's when I was like, oh, who do I have? I mean, of course, I had, another part of that team is good property management. I had a property management company that ran it. And of course, they're going to direct me to, their people and things like that. That's going to charge a high rate. But then that's when I realized, hey, if I'm going to keep doing this, I got to make sure I have people that I know and trust because that could be a costly mistake in the long run, dealing with real estate over, especially over a wide spectrum of places.
Okay. So do you have two other points maybe? Like in your top three, so team.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, having the team, and then one thing is understand real estate is capital. I know on social media, everybody, talk about, oh, this is how you can get a property zero base down and hard money lending and getting money from, friends, family and stuff. Yeah, that's fine if they want to get into the game. But hard money lending, the interest rates are exorbitantly higher than uh what what you can get, just on a conventional rate. I mean, of course, you probably need hard money lending if you got a rehab project or something like that. There's nothing wrong with hard money lending, but understand that it's a short-term gap. So you got to have an exit plan on how you're going to get that hard money lender back his money over a short period of time, maybe 6 to 18 months, and then to make it cash flow. How are you going to make it cash flow over a long term? Now, I'm not talking about flipping. I'm talking about actual rental real estate, holding it for the long term. So that those are different things out there. But understand, it's a capital intensive business. I mean, just this week, I got a call for uh, window screens. Just got a call last night for plumbing. Just got a call the day before about a tree falling down from the hurricane and it falling through the tenant's window. We got tenants without electricity because of the hurricane. Um, got the AC. You know how the AC, the water outflow from the AC units, they connect. It was disconnected in one of my properties. It came loose, and then the moisture from up underneath was dry rotting the subflooring in one of my units. So I got to get all that replaced. That was all just this week. So if you don't have the capital, it's either your tenants are going to suffer and then your tenants are going to be upset. Then, of course, rent going to be due and then tenants are going to be like, why am I paying rent and I got all these issues? Or you got to have the capital to make it happen. So understand, rental real estate is a capital intensive business. I know people think that they can just buy it and then, okay, all the excess money that comes in, because that's how a lot of some lords do it. All the excess money that come in, oh, it's free and clear. I can do whatever I want. If you don't have a kitty emergency fund or something sent to the side, you're gonna be screwed. And then the third and last, and Alex, I know you know, I've been talking a lot about, these 3 points, but the last part of it is, and I'm gonna say it again, if people don't get it, is if you're going to get into rental real estate, if your plan is just to get one, you're wasting your time. If your plan is not to get four or more over a period of time, then you shouldn't do it. And the reason why, Alex, as you've seen, when you first get into real estate, the cash flow that you're gonna have free and clear, maybe at the max, your first year may be $100 because maintenance issues gonna come up, repair issues gonna come up, and things like that. Holding, so you need multiple incomes coming in from these different properties to eventually, over time, the amount of debt you owe, and with the increased rent, will give you a cash flow that is serviceable. But one rental property will not cut it and help you out in retirement. No, those are the 3 main things I wanted people to know. You got anything?
Yeah, I like those three because two of them, I knew you were going to point something out different than what I would have. And I especially want to see your insight because you always go like way deep into, finding out different things. So the first one I like because a team is really important. And that's one I didn't think about when I thought of this topic, but the team having my team has helped me tremendously. I mean, like it's been honestly a lot because of them as to why I was able to get properties ready and rented and uh, get fair prices. Like you said, if people know that you're in the rental game, it's like they automatically assume because you own the property that you're just a multimillionaire. So like they're gonna, they want to charge you outrageous prices. So if you have a team that
Wait,
can do,
speaking of that, one
yeah,
guy, I was doing a turnover in a property, and then
yeah,
you know how the toilet seat gets loose,
yeah.
and then of course I'm not there. He wanted to charge me $25 just to tighten the screw on the toilet seat. Just tighten the screw, $25. That's how egregious it gets. Because,
Yeah.
like you said, they think that you just flush with money, so you're just paying it.
Yeah.
But sorry about that.
No, yeah, it's things like that. I remember there was something with mine. I think it was the seal at the bottom was broken. The guy charged me $150. I mean, yeah, it's things like that. So having a team has helped me tremendously. I know your team has helped you a lot, and it's just having a team that is constantly pretty much on standby, ready to go, basically, and that gets the job done. It's fine. It's hard to find people that just get the job done and do the work. And so, I mean, to my 3 points, mine were one was with you was in agreement with you, which was capital. It's very capital intensive. Intensive. You have to have capital, and I would say in the beginning, over leveraging yourself is not a good way to go because you don't have the cash flow coming in to sustain yourself like these big guys like Grant Cardone or Pace More like or I know Pace More seller finances, but over leveraging, taking out so much debt and saying, oh well, I can buy real estate because I have all this debt. I think that it's better to do that when you're in a different stage of real estate investing, not at the beginning when you've just got like your job and like one property, because now you're having to work just to upkeep these properties rather than the cash flow coming in from like another 50 to 100 units or whatever, paying for everything. But so I would say capital. So I agree with that point. Not that I don't agree with the other 2 points, but second one I would say is negotiating, know how to negotiate. That was one for me, which was funny because I remember in the beginning you telling me, Alex, what difference is negotiating this from when you negotiate antiques? And like that didn't it clicked when you said it, but I didn't put the two and two together beforehand because I thought, oh, well, this is a whole property I'm buying, so it must work different. And you're like, it's just negotiating, just, make them an offer. And that was not something I had thought that I could do going into, purchasing real estate. And I think a mistake that I made and a lot of people make when they look at real estate is they look at the price and they think, oh, that is the value of the property. That is, the sale price. And so people I think would get concerned or try to make a low offer or whatever. But negotiation, I've negotiated every single property and it works. I mean, they take it, they take the offers. So I would say negotiation is very powerful in helping you get the most bang for your buck. The third point I would say would be, geez, what was my third point?
The one I think you're having hard time figuring out what the third one is the one that I miss, and I always say it, so that I didn't want to say it again. Was you got to know the numbers.
That's
You
it.
have to
Yes,
know the
that was it.
numbers.
Okay.
See, that's what.
That was
Yeah.
exactly it. Yes, that was it.
See, I told
No,
you. I
yeah,
told
know the
you.
numbers.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yes, yes. Go ahead, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead. You
Okay,
can
yes.
you can
So
take it.
knowing numbers, good Lord, that was it. Knowing numbers is so important because think of it like this. If you don't know the numbers and you have the capital and you know how to negotiate, you could negotiate yourself into buying a terrible deal. I mean, you can look like you could get the price down from what it's listed at, have the capital, be able to purchase it, and then when you purchase it, it still doesn't make sense to what you can collect in rent, to what the condition is, to what, you know, all things and factors that have to go into it. You have to know the numbers to every single point. I mean, you have to know what the maintenance is going to cost. Especially like this is an important one is when you're buying, even if you're going to self-manage, count for management expenses. Don't just exclude that and say, oh, well, I'm managing it, so I don't have to worry about that coming out of my cash flow. No, count for it. Account for it because what if one day you don't want to manage it? So you have to have that in place. So account for, property management, account for vacancy, account for maintenance. And maintenance is a hard one, even though we say 10% a month. It's a hard one because like your subflooring issue, now you have to replace all that. I would argue probably 10% a month does not cover replacing subflooring. AC units, things like that. So knowing numbers, knowing condition, knowing the condition of the property that can affect the numbers. So I mean, all those things go into factor. Like if you know you've got an old roof, you know that soon you're gonna have to replace it. If you've got an old AC, if you've got a water heater issue, and then calculating it, and there's plenty of rental calculators out there, but calculating it to make sure that your ROI, your cash on cash return, preferably, not just because I know some people say ROI including the debt payoff, but your cash on cash return brings you a yield that's preferably in our case higher than what the S&P 500 can bring you. So knowing numbers abs completely important. Yes. Yeah, see,
Right.
Kirby
And
knows
that's
what I'm like.
yeah, so that's why I put it, and I should have talked about more about that when I said a team. You should, when you get in a team, you should have a team of people that's already been in the real estate realm. I mean, have somebody to reach out to. I mean, maybe they don't have, 60, 80, 100 units, maybe you can't call Grant Cardone or Pace Morby, but call somebody that actually know the numbers. Have somebody on your team that knows that. Like Alex is my calculator. I mean, of course, I could just press it here. I always be like, Alex, what's his number? I don't. That's just what it is. You should have people that know what's going on. If you just dependent on a real estate agent that's going to get you a deal and you don't know the numbers, yeah, a real estate agent can find you any house you want. But do the numbers make sense? That is key. And I just do that in getting with it, having a team around you that knows what's going on. I mean, for the life of me, people think a team around you is your uncle's family and friends that don't have a clue, just like you don't have a clue. No, you got to know people that's in the know in certain areas. I forgot who was the first person that said it, but I don't want to be the person that's the smartest person in every area that I have. I want to have people that is smart in individual areas that I know I can go to get stuff done.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, so that's a key element of it. And the numbers is, that could have been number one if I just said it like that. But having a team that understands all these aspects of what the rental properties are and what you have to do to go through the process of it, that is a key element. And then all the other stuff will fall in place. But Alex, you got anything else?
Well, we'll close it there. Guys, if you have any questions or if you have a top three, if you invest in real estate, let us know. And don't forget to share this video, like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.